if you don't know what first means. You shall bring, it's important right there, bring into the house of the Lord. When Malachi saw to bring the tithes into the storehouse, remember your tithes always goes into the storehouse. You don't divide your tithe. You don't give your tithes to an evangelist. You don't give your tithe to another ministry. You don't give your tithe to your son's church. You don't give your tithes to your father's church. Jimmy and Jelaine started a church in New Jersey. Mickey and I sent them offerings, but we never sent them our tithes. Because God said, bring your tithes into the storehouse. And you're to pay tithes where you get fed. Your tithes doesn't go to TBN. It doesn't go to another preacher. It doesn't go to an evangelist. Your tithes goes to POA. Notice the word bring. The reason why God uses the word bring instead of the word give when he talks about tithing is because you can't give what doesn't belong to you. I gave my tithe. You didn't give no tithes. That didn't belong to you. You can't, he said bring it. You can't give something that doesn't belong to you. You ever wonder why God accepted Abel's offering and not Cain's? I always thought it was blood and fruit and of the ground, and I still preach that and will. But I've noticed something in the last 2 weeks. Genesis 4:3. And in the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought. Now I'm going quick here, Will, in verse 4. And Abel brought the firstlings of the flock. Do you notice something there? Cain, in the process of time, over due time, he paid his tithes. Not Abel. Abel said, I'm going to take the first flock. I've never heard that preached until Robert Morris. I read it in his book on giving. God blessed him because first thing he did, Cain just took it out over the days. Abel said, I'm taking the first and I'm giving it to God. So powerful. Gary, would you come here just a moment? And I'm done. Is everybody okay out there? Well, I asked Gary to do this for me, and he said, I'm glad you asked that because I have that at home. These are 10, you can stay up here, Gary. These are 10 quarters. Okay. Gary just gave these to me. And he'd be so kind to do that, but I'm going to give it back to him when this illustration's over. If Gary just gave that to me, I owe 1/4 to God. Any amens out there? But let's say I do this. I'm going to pay my tithes. I'm going to pay my tithes. But I'm going to take this one. It's going to go to the mortgage company. I'm going to take this one, I'm going to pay for my car. I'm going to take this one, I'm going to put it in my retirement plan. And I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to buy a new hunting rig. I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to look for some property, rent property, buy and sell. And I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to invest it in something else. And I'm going to take this, and I'm going to give it to my family member there in need, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to give it to my taxes. I got to pay my tithes. So I'm going to take this one and I'm going to pay my tithes. Okay, God, I paid my 10%. God said, okay, good job. Now I'm going to bless you on what you have left. So, you want to wait and pay your tithe and go through everything and still give you 10% and get blessed on that? Or do you want 9? And God said, instead of blessing 1. Isn't that great? You pay your tithe. Now I don't have one. You got 9 to get blessed on. Don't take this and give it to all the other places and then pay your tithes at the end when everything else is paid. You get up and say, honey, I don't know how we're going to make it, but we're paying our tithes because God will bless whatever we have left. Thank you. Leviticus 27, all the tithe of the land, whether the seed of the land or of the fruit of the tree, is the Lord's. It's holy. And it's set apart. Belongs to him. I taught myself under conviction.